like this.
Yeah,
we're not doing it like that.
okay.
We're just mom and daughter. We're sitting here. I think it's good to take a break because I was like,
You good?
well, yes. I'm so good. I'm so glad we're doing this because there's so much information that I thought I knew that I didn't know.
Oh, lady.
Lady.
We aren't even we're not even to, like, we're at July of 2017 right now. This isn't even the time I got sober.
I know.
This is the time I pretended like I got
Okay.
sober. So yeah, you want me to tell?
Yeah, you say welcome to another.
Welcome to another episode of North of Rock Bottom. I'm Lizzie.
And I'm Debbie. I'm her mom, and I'm just here to ask a lot of questions. This is your channel. This is your journey. Although you have been bringing your family along for a really long time on this e-ticket ride.
Yep. Didn't ask for it, but they came anyway.
We're here. We're here for it. And it's hard. So that's why we're doing this. Is hopefully that's why you're doing this. Hopefully help other families.
Yeah.
But when the last episode, you were talking about. I mean, we were back in 2017.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's 8 years ago.
Yeah.
We got a long ride.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the last episode, you were telling us about how you got up for work, panicked you were missing work, drove to work, and realized on your drive in
it was the nighttime. It wasn't the morning.
It wasn't the morning. So you were so drunk.
Like, so delirious. So I think my brain, like, you know, they say your brain's not fully developed till 25. And I truly, as I've learned more I took neurobiology of addiction last semester, and I learned a lot about the brain and what alcohol or drugs or whatever you're doing can affect the brain. And I feel like at that point I drank for a year straight with very little breaks, and sometimes like full-on 5-day benders where I would drink all day until the nighttime and then wake up the next day and drink all day. And I would do that for like 5 days and not leave the house. And so I feel like my brain was so gone at that point.
Did I know all of that? Did
Probably
you hide
not.
it? No, I don't. It's like
I was staying at other
there's
people's houses towards the end too. I don't know if you remember, but like
You would have been 21.
I was 20. It was
20, okay.
tail end. I went to detox,
Okay.
and I got out right before my 21st birthday.
Right, I do remember that.
So that was detox, but I was drinking. I was staying, like, a lot of the times I would stay at other people's houses.
Just
and,
to avoid
like,
being being seen by your family. Right, I know.
I still love my friends, so I'm not going to name drop them, but, you know, they were also, like, there was a time where it's, like, it was to the point that my friends were, like, you can't come around if you don't stop drinking. Because, like, I was just gone. Like, I would fall asleep at, like, 9 p.m., and that, like, my breathing would be so shallow that they wouldn't know if I was dead or alive. So it got to be very scary for me to be around, because
Then they didn't want
no part in it, because it's like, yeah, we're all having fun and we're 20 and we're drinking and we're having parties on the weekends, but like then there's me who's like completely just destroying my whole life, and the people I hung out with back then it wasn't that they're bad influences. It's truly like I'm still friends with them to this day, but like, and they support my recovery, and they have since the day I decided to get sober because of it. It was just like a bunch of normal 20-year-olds partying and having fun, and then a straight up alcoholic, addict, whatever you want to call it, drinking to get drunk, not to have fun. So it's like I was getting so drunk I was so delirious, and like it was just so bad. But
So take us to the point where, okay, so you're going to work.
I go to work.
You realize it's nighttime. You're supposed to work in the morning.
Yeah.
So you're
It's not
12
fun.
hours off. You passed out.
My God.
Yeah,
On the floor. In the dirty clothes.
And you come home, and then the singe the eyelashes part off.
Oh my God.
What happened? And these were your own eyelashes.
Realize I have fake eyelashes to this day because of 8 years ago burning off my eyelashes. Like, it took so long for them to even grow back to be semi like usable, and I just had to get fake eyelashes finally in 2020 because it took about it was 3 years and they still weren't to the length because I used to have really long eyelashes.
I know.
But I went to strike a cigarette, and I don't smoke anymore either, so that's a positive. But I caught my hair on fire. I caught my hair on fire. I literally caught this piece of hair.
Oh my gosh.
Caught it. I was drunk and going like this, and then I just all of a sudden my hair's on fire.
Oh my gosh.
It's working its way up.
Of course.
I put it out, okay, and then I'm like, holy shit, that was crazy.
That could have like taken your whole face out, or that
Yeah.
could have killed you. I mean, honestly,
There's a lot of
Liz,
things.
I know.
I mean, but I didn't. So I go finally. I'm like, oh, thank God, it's not. I don't have work right now because I was so felt like I had just gotten an IV of vodka in my system. And so I go to bed and I wake up the next day and I drive to work and I feel like awful. I felt so shitty still. But I get to work, I'm like doing my makeup, probably haven't showered for 5 days, literally have like mascara underneath my eyes, like haven't washed my face, like what the fuck, not done anything. And I'm putting the eyelash on good, and I go to put my second one on and I'm like, ah, because I didn't want to scream to the full
not
effect.
funny. I can
But
laugh. I can laugh a little
We
bit.
can laugh
but-
now, it's 8 years later.
Well, yeah, but even so, that's horrible, honey. I'm sorry.
I deserved it. Like, that should have been, there were so many signs of, like, you need to stop now. There were
That
so
was a
many
sign from the
signs.
universe. You light
Oh
your
my
hair on
God.
fire. You singe your eyelashes
You
off.
literally got so delirious that you went to work at 8:45 at night when you work at 8:45 in the morning. Like, this is this turn of events. So then I have an interview at another job that day. And I'm like, I'm going to get a new job because I had taken so many days off that they were going to write me up again. And then after the second time, or the third time, then I was going to get fired. So I was like,
So the alcoholism was you were taking days off for that.
oh God, yeah. I
Yeah,
would
not because
go
you
for
have
5
not because you had a
days.
head cold and a fever.
Oh,
or
God,
something.
no.
You know,
Yeah,
this was all
I would
drinking related.
take my benders and I would have 3-day weekends some weekends, and some weekends 1-day weekends, and that's how it would transfer. So when I had those 3-day weekends, I would take 2 days off on on Wednesday and Thursday to go on a bender for 5 days. So I would get points
So they figured
towards
it
my
out.
absence. Well, they didn't figure that out, but then
You hid it from your employer.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I was drinking like 5 days, and I would just call in sick for 2 of the days, and then I'd have 3 days off. So I would just bender for 5 days and only get the points towards your absences or whatever from work on the 2 days. But then the last day I go to a job interview and I didn't have the last hour and a half covered. Like, I had work till noon, I got off, I went to this job interview at Costco. For some, like, it was probably a pyramid scheme, to be honest. They offered me like $9 an hour.
Oh, it wasn't at Costco.
No.
It wasn't a Costco
It was like
job.
a booth
but
at
it's a
Costco.
booth.
It was like a pyramid scheme at Costco at a booth. It was, I don't even remember what it was.
So somebody was hiring there and they had a booth set
Oh,
up.
and I was so drunk, and yeah,
I've seen people
They were
hanging out in
selling
the parking lots.
they were selling stuff to people out of the booth. I don't know what they were selling. I can't
Okay.
remember. It was a marketing job, but it paid like $9 an hour. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I think I'm like sitting there talking to her, and I'm drunk because I had like drank before the interview, went to the interview. Then I come back to work. I'm drinking at like 2, 3 o'clock. Okay, now at 4, I have to go back to work for an hour and a half, or whatever, 5, whatever it was. I have to go back to work for an hour and a half. I get in there and I'm sitting there. My boss emails me and is like, I need to talk to you. Well, it's about my write-up from the last bender I went on.
It's just,
For being absent.
do I know this story?
Well, probably. They came in and I came in and she's like, I have to write you up for being absent for the last 3 days, like last week or whatever it was. And I was like, okay. And then she was like, wait a second, hold on. And then she left and I'm like, oh God, they know.
She smelled it.
Oh God, she saw it in my eyes. She smelled it. She went and got HR immediately. Like, it was within seconds. They escorted me out, like, with like 3 people, put me in an Uber, took me to a clinic or whatever. They were testing, like, I had to do a UA. Then they were doing a breathalyzer. I was like refusing to blow into the breathalyzer. I'm like, what if I just leave right now to the nurse? And she's like, if you leave, then it's a positive. We can't help you if you just leave. And like my boss is like distraught about it. And like I was like lightly blowing into the breathalyzer, and they were like,
why were you thinking?
because I was thinking I could trick it. I didn't know. I never been breathalyzed before. So I was like faking it, and then I was finally like, okay, fuck it. So I did it, and it was a 0.3, not 0.03. It was a 0.3,
which is like
7 something, which 0.4 I learned in school and before that, but learned like 0.4 is when people usually almost die. But I had such a tolerance, and they told my boss, and they're like, she is walking and talking, and I know that you can tell she's drunk, but she's blowing a 0.3. By 0.4, people are usually have alcohol poisoning and are incoherent and passed out. By 0.5, between 0.4 and 0.5, they have seizures and die. Like, she's doing this every day, all day. Like, there's no other answer to why she's able to drink to a 0.37 and stay standing and walking. And my boss just broke down and crying because she was so upset. And then, I get back to work, and she was distraught because her dad was an alcoholic, and she was just so distraught about it. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, they were heartbroken because they like hear that, and then it was just like, I don't know, it was just crazy working for like a big corporation, I won't name them, and having people really fucking care. And like, I was like, I'm gonna go. They're like, no, you need to call somebody right now and get a ride, or we're calling the cops. Like, Lizzie, and I was like, I'm getting in my car. Like, fuck this, fuck that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm driving, I'm fine. They're like, nope. I don't know why I thought it was such a good idea to call Dad. It was like the worst idea to call. Probably the worst person to call, but in the best. Like, it was the best person, but it was also low-key the worst, because it was like he was so angry. And I just remember he was like, we're going to an AA meeting right now. And that's when I got introduced to the Alano Club. Shout out to the Alano Club in Murray. Best place to go to meetings if you're in the Salt Lake area. Anyways, that's not an ad. But yeah, we went to Alano Club, and
your dad went with you.
Oh yeah. And we sat there.
Did I know this at this time?
I'm sure he called you by then.
Because there was a time he called me, and I was so, I don't know, just like, I don't know how to describe it. I just couldn't anymore. Like, I just couldn't.
No, it probably wasn't that time.
Right. The time I really couldn't anymore, we'll get there eventually,
Yeah.
was just before you left for Florida.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But there was a time when I was like, I just can't. I can't be there.
I know.
And I thought he was taking you to inpatient.
You took me to inpatient.
Yeah.
It may have been.
It's interesting how the line, you would think, just from a parent's perspective, how you were like, remember your child's graduation from kindergarten like it was yesterday, and you remember them, or you remember the time they hit their first home run, or they were at their first piano recital, or the first time they said their first words, whatever the case may be for your child. I remember all those things, but through the alcoholism, I can't remember when things happened and why they happened or where they happened. With rare exception, I remember the moments when I just couldn't anymore. Like, I just couldn't come running anymore. And as a parent, you just feel horrible for saying that and doing that. But we'll get to my mom guilt too. But I don't remember all these major moments.
I don't remember whether
they blurred.
I don't know if it may have been because it was like there was so much shit that happened in a short amount of time, but that wasn't like
so much.
That wasn't like Lizzie goes to rehab, Lizzie goes to detox, Lizzie goes to the psych ward, and then relapses, and then it's like a cycle. Like, at that point, I'd never gotten any help. It was just a lot of turn of events in like 6 months. Well, really a year, but like 6 months that really was like the deal breaker. It may have been that time because I know I went to Dad's house. I stayed at Dad's house that night,
Yeah.
And then he took me to detox.
Right.
And that's at least kind of what I remember from that time. But I'm sure it was, it may have been the next time that I relapsed in 2017. Then I was relapsing during treatment outpatient. But I feel like maybe it was the time that I decided to, I'd relapsed in Vegas. And then I came
to
home.
Vegas. I took you and your brother and sister.
No.
Was that the time?
No,
I took
this
you
is
to Vegas?
this is like
For Christmas.
no, we're like you're back in 2020. I'm like still in 2017.
Oh, that's right. It was 2020 because it was a COVID year.
No, I went to Vegas by myself and I ended
Okay.
up relapsing and getting really just gone and ended up coming back and getting my own apartment in West Valley.
Yeah, and still in Utah.
Still in Utah, but just like
You're on your own now.
on my own, which was the worst thing for me, but also probably the best. But it's just.
Do you? Okay, this may sound like a kind of a silly question, but at this point, are you realizing that you're not like full on like alcoholic?
Not until.
Do you think at this point you think, oh, I can still turn this ship around?
Yeah, I was still like, yeah, I could probably be okay if I just like moderate. I don't think I thought I was an alcoholic. I don't even think after being in rehab the first time I was an alcoholic. Like, I think I was like, okay, like, it's fine. Like, it was just like this heartbreak or whatever and this breakup that led me into a year-long bender of drinking every day. But I feel like it was not until I relapsed really hard in the apartment in between August and October of 2017, after doing outpatient rehab, after the detox and the outpatient rehab and weeks of that, I relapsed again, and that's when I feel like I finally hit me, like in the psych ward. Like, they wouldn't take me in detox, they put me in the psych ward. It was the worst experience ever, but it was the best because I got out and I was like going to inpatient. They were like, you can't leave. If you want to, you'll be here for 14 days. If you don't pick an inpatient to go to, you'll have to stay in the side. At that point, I'd been there 4 days, and I was like, I can't do this for another 9 days. Like, they gave me an ultimatum. They're like, go do 30 days inpatient, or you stay in the psych ward for
2 weeks.
2 weeks, which you're not smoking at that hospital.
Okay, so this is a place I came to see you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You want to talk about that?
The psych ward?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I mean, it was a new experience. Let's just say all I've done is go to the psych ward since then. They don't put you in detox.
Okay, so for people who might be watching this who have a loved one who's an alcoholic or is addicted to whatever, to drugs.
Yeah.
Maybe we should start by explaining like the different areas or places you can go, just real quickly, since you've had all this experience and now you work in the therapy world. So then we'll talk about what the psych ward was like. Why don't we start there? Like, what are all these different? You have psych ward. You have
detox,
which is what?
Which is like if you're coming off of alcohol or drugs, some drugs, not every drug, pills, things like that. Like, you can go to detox and they will detox you for 4 or 5 days to a week.
Is it run by a hospital?
There's tons of detoxes. You can Google detoxes. The detoxes that I've been to was at LDS Hospital
in Utah.
There's a detox at the University of Utah Hospital in Utah. There's a detox at Salt Lake Behavioral Health.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a psych ward at LDS at the University of Utah and at Salt Lake Behavioral Health, plus tons of private places, other hospitals, things like that you can go to. But those are kind of the big main ones that I've been to.
And detox would be they're trying to just get the toxins out of you.
Yeah,
like
detox is like
whatever.
making sure when you detox off alcohol, you can have like major seizures and you can die. You can die, and you could asphyxiate,
Asphyxiate.
like throw up and end up.
Yeah.
so we can cut that out. But yeah,
No, it's okay.
you end up choking on your own.
Yeah.
So they
Monitor you.
monitor you,
Very
and they
carefully.
take your vitals, and they have you hooked up to machines, and they feed you, and that's what detox is. The psych ward is like for people in a psychotic episode,
And that's what you were in.
a couple times, but like delirium from alcohol probably. Also,
And that would be a place they would put you if they were concerned that you were going to harm
Hurt
yourself or
yourself.
hurt others.
yeah, hurt yourself. Like, you know, I was never really like, I would do things when I was really drunk, like taking sleeping pills or whatever to like try to like when I'm awake and normal and sober, I don't want to die. But when I'm really, really drunk and intoxicated, it was like I would go to that level. And like,
Like it's the only way out.
yeah,
Okay.
like I would take a bunch of sleeping pills while I was really drunk. And it was because I was really drunk that I was doing it. And so that's why like they would say, oh, you know, the psych ward.
So, and then there's rehab with inpatient or outpatient. You've done the inpatient rehab
I've done outpatient and
and
inpatient.
inpatient. You've done both.
Mhm.
And that's where you go for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
And I know the inpatient, I came visit you there a couple
Inpatient,
times.
yeah.
I dropped you off there.
70. I did 70 days in inpatient back in 2017. The max that people were doing typically was 30 days in inpatient. I got very lucky. Shout out to Recovery Ways, not an ad once again. They, regardless of my insurance, I was only on my mom's at the time as my dad had retired. And they did not take my mom's insurance. They took $5,000 up front, which is nothing for the amount of money that they ended up losing because
Spending on you.
me, and you know, in
Right.
a sense, losing money because I stayed. And my insurance, I'll just give you an idea. They paid $100 for a $1,000 UA. So the insurance paid $100 back for a $1,100 UA.
Your analysis.
Yeah, your analysis. So I mean, they're incredible over there. But yeah, I ended up getting a 70-day stay. Their PHP, which is partial hospitalization, which I work with now, but that's where you live in sober living and go. Theirs was
You
a
lived
little
there.
different. Yeah, you still live there while you're in PHP. You just get your phone after 5
what days?
PM, 5
Oh,
PM
5
in
PM.
PHP. So I did 30 days in inpatient, 35 days in inpatient, 35 days in PHP, but it was all, I couldn't leave really, like, you could have passes, like, once in a while.
I remember that.
In PHP, they'd let me leave for, like, a couple hours or something, but
I think I came over
yeah,
there.
you
and
did. We did
yeah.
stuff. So it was good, but there's different options. There's tons of different options.
So maybe we should save the rehab for a whole segment of its
Yeah,
own,
there
like
needs
a
to be a whole.
episode.
There has to be a whole episode on
on
that.
just that. But let's go back to the psych ward, because I do, you know, I said a few minutes ago, it's curious to me how the lines all start blurring as your mom. I was like, I don't remember dates, and I just know it was just, we were constantly, it was like praying or being there or whatever, hoping you were okay, or getting a call from you, or getting a call from your dad at something, or whatever, or just being in the middle of it. But I remember the psych ward it was rough. I remember, like, I was at work. I was a news reporter in Utah for decades, and I was sitting at my desk, and I knew you were at the psych ward, and you were, I mean, literally you're a mile away. I mean,
Mhm.
It was so close, and I was like, I just can't sit here at work with you there. And I've driven by the hospital a couple times, and so anyway, I'm okay. We're on the upswing now, but we're north.
Mm-hmm.
We're north of rock bottom, so knock it off, Deb. Okay, so I remember, I think I had a red dress on. I was getting edit stories that day or something like that were airing, and I had these crazy heels on, and I felt so it didn't matter about me, but I was like, I'm just gonna go. This is like not how I should show up. And I had this massive purse with all of the stuff in it for work, and I walk in and they check me in, and they take me through it, and it's this one thing I will say about the psych ward is I knew when you were there, you were gonna be safe. And I could sleep at night because I was like, at least I know she's in a place where they literally give her they're giving her nothing, and I mean in terms of anything you do to harm yourself or no alcohol. Obviously, I was like, oh my gosh, I would sleep so well when you were in the psych ward because I knew you were okay physically and you were getting the help you needed. So I remember walking through those halls, and I walk in and I turn the corner, and you're on the bed. You're like, Mom. And then I came over, and you were sitting there was no sheets on the bed.
Yeah.
There was nothing. There was nothing in that room.
Yeah.
So you pick up the story from there. I don't at all want to insert myself on that,
No,
but I
you
do
can.
remember that moment of turning
was...
it in your face and just seeing it. I was like, it was my baby.
Yeah, it was pretty, I mean, I was best friends with a homeless guy in the psych ward,
which is so awesome, honey.
which is like kind of crazy because I'm obviously not homeless, but like there was, I don't like to say it like that. I deal with mental health issues too. We'll have another whole episodes about that, but like there was the most normal people in there was a gang member and a homeless guy, and we would hang out with each other all day long and watch TV.
That's what I mean by the fact that you have a big heart.
Yeah. Yeah, there was just really crazy people in there.
Yeah.
It was scary.
I know. I met some of them.
I mean,
they just have mental health.
it was,
and that's the place they need to go to get the help.
Yeah, and as I got sober, like the more sober I got and detox off of drug or alcohol, the more I woke up to what the fuck was happening. Like I wasn't really for the first few days I just would sleep or like and barely eat, and like I would just be there. But like as I woke up in the last tail end of the last few days, it was like, where the fuck am I? Because, you know, at the time it was like, I don't belong here. Like I'm like right on the edge of like belonging here and not. And like I was just dealing with people like saying they were gonna kill me and like crazy stuff. Like it wasn't like a normal, like it's not a normal place. Obviously everybody's dealing with mental health, and I do too, but it's just like it was like people sitting with you in groups and like whispering they're gonna murder you, like, and like slamming the phone against the wall. I remember this girl was screaming and she was slamming the phone against the wall, and she was like, she just had this big blow up, and I was like, what the hell is happening? And, you know, I've also had my own problems, so it's like, you know, I don't judge, no, it's just the setting, and especially that time, like, I've been a few times, and I've also been where I'm the crazy one. Like, when I relapsed in 2022, after 4 years sober, like, I was the crazy one in the psych ward. Like, they were like, oh my god, like, can't get this girl out of here fast enough. And technically I was supposed to be in detox. They just had put the psych ward and detox together. So like I've also been that person that's literally acting insane in psych ward, detox, whatever you want to call it. So it's like, but at the time when I was that young, I was like waking up from being drunk for, at that point, a year with a break plus a few months of drinking again. And it's like, I was like, where am I? Like, this is hell. Like, I didn't have clothes for the first few days, so I was in a hospital gown.
No bed sheets.
No bed sheets, yeah, that was normal.
Do you remember what you told me? How did you get your person?
Yeah, you weren't supposed to bring your person.
Okay, first of all, I checked in. It wasn't like I just snuck in the back door. I checked in and they walked me, they escorted me.
Yeah,
they never said anything about go put your purse in the car or lock your purse here. I was just carrying my bag. I was just
Yeah,
like,
you-
I'm a news reporter. No, I wasn't saying that, but I was like, I had my big news reporter bag with, and I'm just a mom with my news reporter bag and my high heels. That was something else. You're like, why are the stiletto things? Like, how did you get those in here?
Yeah, you weren't supposed to.
Which is wild. And then then you said, Mama, do you have a hairbrush?
Oh yeah, because I hadn't been able to brush my hair. They took my hairbrush.
Please brush my hair. And do you remember I was standing there brushing your hair, or sitting on your bed with you brushing your hair, and then a nurse checked in,
Mm-hmm.
and I hid the hairbrush.
Oh yeah, they hid the hairbrush. Contraband. Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't anything like that in my purse, obviously, but it was just like a hairbrush, makeup, and pens, and
Yeah,
just stuff
but
you carry in my wallet.
You're
my
not
credit
allowed
cards.
to have any of that.
You're not allowed to have
inside
any of
or
it. I had
technically.
no idea. So, like, the next time I went in, I would leave everything in the car, you know, whatever I needed to
Yeah,
do to not
that's
bring it in. I just lesson learned.
Crazy.
Yeah,
That
but
was
you wanted
crazy.
your hair. You wanted your beautiful hair brushed, and I brushed it.
Yeah, it was
I brushed
knotted.
It was so matted.
Yeah,
It was
gross.
so matted.
It's just.
Did you want to stop now and?
Yeah, episode 2 done. That's a lot. I need to know that too. I need to realize that, like, this isn't gonna be easy. I mean, it's not easy for you either, and I can tell, and I'm like, oh gosh, but it's like also not easy for me. I'm like, okay, I need to decompress it because it's like a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot to bring up, and I was just thinking about that. I was just like, okay, like when you were getting emotional, I was just like, oh, I need to realize too, like I gotta take care of myself too, because like this is gonna be a lot for me to unpack. I've never talked about it like this before.
And then you have to take breaks. That's why I said let's just
Yeah.
take breaks,
Yeah,
because it's not.
we can't film 8 episodes of like all of this traumatic shit happening to both, but I mean to everybody in the family, but you know, people I've been with, whatever it is, there's so many things, but right now it's like us talking about it, so it's,
You have to take care
Traumatic.
of your mental health,
yeah, we gotta just
and we have to keep
pace it.
reminding ourselves too. I think this is important. Yeah, pacing.
There's so much, there's so much you probably don't know that you're gonna find out, and that also is like, if you're getting upset, it's like, I'm like, okay, we need to pause.
Do you know what's interesting though about the stories that I don't know about? I'm having less of a, maybe I'll feel differently when I get home tonight
Oh,
and
hopefully
I start thinking
not.
about it, but I'm having less of an emotional reaction to it. I've done a lot of work myself, and we'll talk more about that too.
Yeah.
But the ones I know about, it's like when I remember your face or I remember that moment, I'm like, that's when I'm like, oh, it's hard to relive it. Like the psych ward. That was a hard one. That was a hard one. And having you right there, just a mile from my work, maybe it was, I don't know, it felt like you were looking out the window at me and I wasn't there to help you. And I'm like, I need to go.
They don't have windows. I don't think they have windows, because then you can jump from them, you know? Like, they don't have window, but I know what you're saying. I get the gist of.
No, but
like,
you're right. I mean, I'm driving around. I think there were some windows there, but maybe not in your room.
No, not anywhere in the psych ward. They don't want someone taking a chair, busting out the window, and jumping out. Just FYI for anybody wondering about that. Just
Right. Cut.
cut. We need one of those things.